Thank you so much for 500 subscribers. Let's get this clutch installed into that engine and some thrust washers. But first, we'll start with some beauty shots of this clutch.
When you pay your taxes.
We got what we need. We're going to go ahead and install these thrust washers into this J37 and continue on building. Thrust washers are in. Got that area cleaned up for the rear main seal. Got that here. So I'm going to go ahead, knock that in, make sure it's all straight. It's nice this one has a little lip, so you know that it's bottomed out. And then I'll be using Honda Bond to seal it up. And another thing to note, this one has an O-ring for the main bearings. I really don't want that O-ring to leak, so I'm going to put just a little bit of Honda Bond around it too, just to help that seal up a little bit better. Alright, we've got the rear main seal on. It's a little tricky getting in there, some of those wrenches. Made sure to put a little bit of oil on that seal so we don't get a dry start there. Put a little Honda Bond on that O-ring. Just didn't want this being open because that oil port sitting right there. I don't want to get anything contaminated. Alright, now I'm going to go ahead, get this water pump seal changed out. It was already brand new. Timing belt kit was just done, so I'm just going to replace the seal because it was leaking coolant. I'm going to put a little bit of Honda Bond around that seal too to make sure that's sealed up long term. We got the water pump on. I just put the cover on just so we get the right squish on those extra bolts there. Make sure we get a good seal. Make sure the seal wasn't pinched up. Now we'll be on to the next thing, which would be the cylinder heads. We got right there. I will be fully disassembling those and changing out the valve stem seals. I like to get the higher quality Viton seals. Make sure this camera's focusing. We like to get the high temp Viton seals. They hold a lot better, they last a lot longer, and they seem to handle the abuse. So we'll dig into these cylinder heads and get those seals replaced. Still waiting for the valve springs. So we'll get as far as we can get today. Alright, I'm going to start by taking off this cam gear bolt. I'm going to try to, anyway. Thinking I could put a pry bar in here and hopefully not snap this camshaft in half. Oh, I see. Gonna have to hold this back. Okay, gonna have to rethink that. I'll be right back. Alright, we're back. I got a ratchet strap down to the table. Switch that to wide angle. Okay, let's try this again. So I will put pry bar on this bolt. And hope for the best. Alright, fair amount of effort to get that guy off. That is perfect. Slide that off. So there's that guy. Now we can get these two bolts off. It's the only reason you gotta pull off that cover there. So we'll go ahead and get those bolts off. So those will be 12mm bolts. Not nearly as tight as the other one. That's always nice. So now we can see the cam seal. I'm going to start a little pile on the floor. Pop off the cylinder head. Valve cover, I should say. And we can have a look at what we got going on in here. We'll get this valve train off so we can inspect that cam, and I'm really hoping it's not super scored up and we have something that we can work with. This engine did have 315,000 kilometers on it when I pulled it apart, but it was running perfectly fine. Just had a little bit of oil burning, nothing too crazy. A lot of oil leaks though. Oil pump was leaking, all that good stuff. So we'll go ahead, get all these bolts off, and pull out that cam. Alright, we got that valve train off. Now you can see it's looking really good. Give this a little spin here. There's a little bit of water on it because I did pressure wash the whole engine before I took it apart, but yeah, you can see it looks nice and good. That'll clean up nice. So pretty happy about that. I'll flip this cylinder head around so I can get the cam holder plate off. Another 12mm. See if the old 3/8 has got it. Nice. We'll pop that off. Then, just like an LS cam, should just pop right out. At least that's what they say. Anyway, yeah, we'll pause the camera for a second. I'll be right back. All right, just had to give it a little wiggle. It came right out, wouldn't you know? So now we got this off. We can have a real good look at the journals in the head. So these engines are notorious for eating themselves alive. So, see, just a tiniest bit scoring on there. Definitely not the worst I've seen. So these will be usable. I would have no issues with that. The other two look really good. We'll call that a win. And then these journals. Have a look at these. So, journal number 1. It's looking pretty good. Sorry about the camera there. So, journal 1. I wonder if that's supposed to be there. It'd be worth investigating. So they look pretty good. It's got one over there too. Hopefully that's right. Probably not. We'll get these valve springs off. I like using the hammer and socket. That's big enough. And then we can throw these valve keepers all over the shed. Alright, zoom this thing down. So check out these ports. Honestly, they look really good. On the exhaust ports, you can almost see aluminum through that. It's exceptionally clean. Really no carbon buildup at all. Seats don't look too bad. Definitely not perfect, but they should work. The intake side is, wow, unbelievable. Again, 300,000 kilometers on this unit here. It's looking real good. I'm pretty happy with that. Those will be nice and easy to clean up. I'm just gonna reuse these as well. It's no big deal. Alright, we're gonna start with cleaning up these exhaust valves. I usually put them in a drill, like so. Then you can check if they're straight. This engine was a runner, so I'm not too concerned about it. Now, I find an easy way to break off this carbon is just with a pair of pliers. Hold it gently, spin it up, you want to be really careful not to wreck the seat of the valve. That's for sure. And then once you get most of it off, dig out the Scotch-Brite pad here. We'll hit it with some Scotch-Brite pad. And that gets them pretty well cleaned off. It's quick and easy. I'm usually not too concerned about getting like every little last piece off. But if you want, you can go to town, get them all cleaned up. So I'll start on another one here. Alright, so went through all those valves now. Try to focus that up. So, most of the carbon's off there. I mainly focus on getting it all off the stem here so you get more flow. It's better flow. So those will be happy with the seats. Next, I will get these valve seals off. Now, like most guys, I don't have the best tool for the job, so I'll usually use a flathead screwdriver and a hammer, and I will slice down the side of this. You really want to make sure you're not hitting that valve guide, because you can mess that up quite easily. But yeah, I'll hammer these. Right, got that split. Then I usually grab a pry bar, and it's a lot easier to peel it up. Boom. Here we go. Where'd that go? There it is. So there you have it. Nice light hammer on the side. gets that right off. You can see even little nick there, it'll be okay, but you really want to be careful with those guys. Super easy to mess that up. I'll go ahead and do that to the rest of them, and at this time I will pull out the valve spring seat so I can clean under there while I'm in here, because I really don't want to do this again. Right, there we have it. One removed. I'll work on the rest of them now. Alright, we got all those stems off, stem seals off, without wrecking anything. We got the inside of the cylinder head cleaned up. So now I'm going to go ahead and reinstall, or install, some new Phyton valve stem seals. I usually use extension and 10mm socket to get that guy on. Can usually get it on without wrecking stuff. Move these old towels. Oh, guilty for this one. Don't forget to put the seats back on, the valve stem seats back on before you put your valve seals in. Otherwise you gotta cut off your new valve stem again. Throw it away. So, we'll clean those up, just like so. Get all the dirt and debris off. Make sure there's no residuals hanging out on the seat here. Toss that on. So that's on now. Now I can put Phyton valve stem seal in. Always like to double check fitment before I just go putting these on, because it's a decent amount of work without the special tools. So I'll go ahead and try this on the valve. It's a nice snug fit. Should be good to go here on the exhaust side. So line it up. If you hit it too hard, you can damage the seal. So just nice easy taps. You'll hear it bottom out. be all in. Just like that. New seal installed. So I'll go ahead and put all of these guys in. Got those seals replaced. Those are all in there now. Head's cleaned up. Everything looks good. The cylinder head looks really nice. Super happy with that. So I'm gonna get these valves cleaned and I'll feed them back in. I don't want any little bits of carbon on it. Feels like a nice snug fit. These intake valves are just exceptionally clean. I didn't even really clean those. So really happy about that. Previous owner ran 91 octane always, and the car was tuned as well, so that does make a big difference. Obviously we did hammer on these valve guides a little bit, so you know, making sure your valves are still going in nice and easy, guys. That's key. If they get bound up, I would replace that valve guide for sure. Don't want to go through the trouble of getting it all together. Have something like that be not right. Got us a new cloth here. Go wide angle. Alright, so these exhaust valves, see, they polish up pretty good. You know, you can really go to town on that. Get those cleaned up. I think it's more work than it's worth. So you know, I build my engines with a little bit of a patina sometimes. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. The smell of brake clean is getting strong enough where I'm almost having a good time here. That's usually how I like it. Makes these engine builds go by just a little bit quicker. So there we have it. One refreshed cylinder head. When I get the valve springs installed, I'll put some brake clean down these exhaust ports and make sure that they're not leaking badly. If they are, I'll give them a little lap. If it really doesn't work, I will get some new valves, some new exhaust valves. Hopefully fix that. Nice. So there we have it. Ow. All right, 10 out of 10, would not recommend doing that. That hurt. I sliced myself pretty good. I'll use the power of editing and make another cylinder head appear on the table right now. So, got this guy cleaned up. We got new seals in there, cleaned up the valves the same way. And just kind of threw everything together. Got the camshafts cleaned up, ready to go. Valve covers are cleaned up, ready to go. Hey guys, thanks for checking out this video. I'm still waiting on some valve springs and some rod bearings, and video turned out a little longer than I thought, so I'm going to do a two-part video on that. Next week I will have the other half of the video out, and we'll get that J37 fully assembled. Give this video a like. Thank you so much for subscribing. I'll see you guys in the next one.